We got weights and fish.
There we go!
What is up, MFers? I have a crazy video for you guys today. If you didn't hear, over the weekend, two anglers fishing a professional tournament won over $40,000, but something a little fishy happened. They were caught with weights stuffed inside the bellies of their fish, and it's one of the craziest cheating scandals that I've ever heard of in professional fishing. So let's run through that video. I'll show you guys this crazy scene that went down. Then afterwards, I'm going to give my thoughts on maybe some of the cheating that's going on in a lot of professional fishing and maybe some unpopular opinions on that cheating. Okay, so to set the stage for this video really quick, we have two anglers weighing in. This is Jacob Runyon and Chase Kaminsky. This is the Lake Erie Walleye Trail. It's a top-level professional walleye fishing tournament, and the director's gonna announce that they are the team of the year, leading the team of the year in points.
Our current team of the year race leaders. Our second place, Fat Five team, second place Fat Five.
These guys win a ton of different tournaments. It actually read that they've won over $3 million in career earnings. And the more I read about this afterwards, there's actually been a lot of speculation that these guys have been doing shady things for a long time. They've failed polygraph tests. There was a tournament where all the competitors donated their walleye, their catches to local food banks, that these guys did not donate their walleye for local food banks. And I think we're gonna figure out why in just a second here. Now, these are all just allegations. It's always innocent until proven guilty, right? So I'm not saying these guys are incriminating them. I'm not saying these guys did this, but let's watch the video and see what happens. So they weigh in their fish, and for anyone that fishes tournaments, there are times when you absolutely blow out the competition with a way higher weight. That just happens at times, but generally, tournaments come down, especially a one-day tournament like this one, it appears, they come down to a pound, ounces even, or even a couple pounds. These guys absolutely blew the competition away, and the more I'm reading about this, it says the director and other fishermen in the tournament thought these fish that they're holding up looked more like 4-pound fish, but their total bag was 33, 34 pounds. So these fish had to be about 7 pounds a piece. So they get done with the weigh-in, they're about to hand out awards, and another angler protests them, which, thank God they protested them. And so the director starts to take a look at their fish a little bit closer. So when he looks at their fish a little bit closer, it says in the articles that I'm kind of reading about this, I'm kind of swiping through on my phone right now, says he could feel some hard objects in the bellies of the fish. And if you look at these fish, it's pretty clear they're dead. So he's not just gonna start chopping into live big game fish of any type. No, they're clearly dead fish. I don't know if they were donating these to food banks or whatever for this tournament, but they were dead, so hopefully they did get eaten or would get eaten in the future. So he cuts into them, and a freaking fiasco ensues.
We got weights and fish.
There we go! Get out of here! You don't need to. The other one. Everybody's money back. Yeah. Go get Jason.
Because he finds big, giant egg sinkers inside these fish's bellies, along with actual walleye fillets, and apparently there was pliers in there too. I didn't see the picture of the pliers, but everything that I've read said that there was pliers in there too. So clearly they used walleye fillets, wrapped up the egg sinker with walleye fillets, stuffed it down their throats. It says too, people that suspected them of cheating in the past also think that they may have caught their fish in tournaments beforehand and snuck them into the tournament. Oh man, so this is an absolutely crazy scene. Cole probably is going to chop a bunch of the F-bombs out. Luckily, these guys did get verbally just thrashed by their competitors, and rightfully so, right after this happened. The dude that cheated Runyon, one of them anyways, stood there. The other guy probably peaced out. I don't know what happened with him, but You can see he stood there and took it all, and people were screaming that, you know, they thought he was better than this. Other people were saying that they knew they were cheating all along and everything. A lot of people calling for the police to be called too. And I know that the authorities were contacted, but there isn't a whole lot more information about that. I'm sure we'll hear about that in the coming weeks, what will come of this. Okay, so let's talk about this situation and other situations, cheating in tournament fishing. First off, this situation has blown up because of how juicy and entertaining the videos have been of them getting caught cheating. And of course, every time someone cheats in a tournament, it's not as morbid as the director chopping open a bass or a walleye or whatever species of fish, finding these giant weights and fillets and stuff inside them. So first off, it's disgusting that they did that, and of course that they cheated in general. I'm not condoning any of that, and obviously what's going to happen is these guys won't be allowed to compete in any tournament trail of any type for the rest of their lives, rightfully so. But the problem is I'm getting all these messages with people acting like, did you see this? Did you hear about this? Can you believe this? This is unbelievable. It's really not that unbelievable. There is cheating instances in tournaments at every level, in every possible way that you could imagine, because human beings are shady sumbitches when it comes to winning any amount of money. A lot of times it's the money, and a lot of times it's just people want the status. They want people to know them as the guy who wins the tournaments, whatever. But when people sent this video to me, it didn't shock me at all. Of course, it was a pretty insane sight to see this many fishermen yelling and things. But there's been instances recently in fishing tournaments, also terrible and disgusting, that kind of just got brushed under the rug. And I kind of want to bring some of that to light a little bit, because it's exactly the same thing. Although the video is not as entertaining as a bunch of fishermen yelling F-bombs at a guy who just got caught cheating for $30,000. There's been people that are in professional bass fishing, which I'm much more familiar with. I'm not super familiar with the walleye fishing trail, but there's been dudes in these tournaments where they have purposely snagged fish on beds in tournaments and kind of in shady ways taking them off the hook so their marshal or the camera or whoever couldn't see. And that gets added to their weight total, of course. And some of these, of course, have been in not 5 fish weight tournaments, but in cumulative weight tournaments. So what I'm saying is they're fishing for a ridiculous amount of money too, just because it kind of just gets seen in a quick little video of a fish getting taken off shady below the water or something like that was snagged. It doesn't make it any different than this at all. Or there's been a lot of situations lately where anglers have been caught soliciting information about the body of water they're going to fish. So there's information rules set in place where, in a couple of the top level circuits, the Elite Series, the Bass Pro Tour, where you can't get information at all about the fishery that you are on. If you are told information during the off-limits period when you can't get it, then you have to tell the tournament director immediately, and he has to make that public information. You can go online, you can look up whatever you want about the lake, but you cannot text locals or guides and get information. And there's been situations where anglers have been caught recently soliciting information illegally. Is that different than stuffing weights in their fish? No, it's the same thing. It's the same cheating. It's the same. You're getting an edge, an advantage over your competition. And when it comes down to it, when you want to look at it literally, you are taking money directly from another competitor, whether you finished 1 spot ahead of them in the money or you finished 1 spot and 1 point ahead of them. Maybe that angler got bumped out of the Elite Series because he cheated, or the Bass Pro Tour. I don't even know how you get bumped out of that, but in theory, if you could get bumped out, that's what would happen. Like, they're literally stealing money from other anglers, and professional anglers that I've fished with have spoken to me about how big a piece of shit they think these guys are that have done this. But it's kind of sad that nothing really gets made light of that. One more thing to think about, I think, with the information rule is that doesn't really get brought to light. There was anglers pre-information rule. So this kind of went into effect. I think the Elite Series information rule has been in effect for 5-6 years now. But there was anglers that absolutely dominated the tournament circuit prior to that. And now there's a lot of guys that you used to see in the rankings every year up high in individual tournaments and in points that you never see towards the top anymore since that information rule got put in. Is that coincidence? Just something to think about. So the last thought I want to touch on with this situation that I think is really, really sad, it's where society has gone in general, is who won this tournament, this walleye tournament, after these guys got disqualified? Cole?
Don't know.
No one knows who won this tournament. There's been incredible feats and accomplishments that don't get 5% of the press that this cheating scandal with two scumbags has gotten, because consumers of media want to see scandal, they want to see confrontation, they want to see negativity. And you can see it in my videos a lot of times with the types of titles and thumbnails, how they correspond with the number of views. People would rather see a guy talk trash to me before a tournament at a local tournament and then nothing really happened of it, more so than they want to see me win any tournament. I guess we kind of all just have to ask ourselves with these situations how much we want to perpetuate it. I think it's good that we bring to light people that cheat, but there's all different cheating in all different levels of tournaments. And I'm not talking about guys using live scope, which is available to literally every single person in the world if they want to get it, and legal in every trail besides musky trails. I'm talking about putting fish in baskets, bringing fish in live wells that are not where your live wells should be, that are getting checked before the tournament, putting weights in, doing all sorts of shady shit. And people even, in some of the weigh board ones, weighing the same fish or taking pictures and taking pictures in different clothes to make it seem like it's a different fish on a different day. That just happened in a tournament. This is not the first time or the last time anyone will cheat in a tournament, and you should absolutely investigate to the fullest if you suspect it. But I think we need to think about how much we're going to perpetuate and talk about the negativity in the sport without talking about the positivity in the sport as well. Hope you guys like this video. I don't have much else to say about that. Just kind of an opinion video. I thought I would share and my thoughts and what's actually going on in fishing. Let me know what you guys think about the cheating scandal in the comments down below, and let me know what you think about how I feel about it, and if you agree or disagree with how I think about it as well. Catch you soon. Out of here. Peace.